Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with a controversial view of The Bodyguard. Controversial View, as you know, is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I watch and discuss controversial movies or TV shows. The controversies vary from film to film. Some are simple and straightforward, and others are more complex. It could be a controversy behind the scenes, or the subject matter of the movie itself. This week we're tackling the insanely popular 1992 film, The Bodyguard. The Bodyguard stars Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. And it's one of those films that doesn't really fit into one specific genre. A lot of people brush it off as a romance, although it is much more than that. Many see it as a dark drama or thriller. And then there are those like myself who definitely see it as a suspense thriller with shades of horror. Ultimately, it is a stalking movie. The soundtrack for The Bodyguard is also the #1 selling movie soundtrack of all time. Of course, it includes the iconic I Will Always Love You, performed by Whitney Houston, originally written and performed by Dolly Parton. Interestingly, initially, that song wasn't even supposed to be in the movie. What Becomes of the Broken Hearted was selected instead. But when that song appeared in Fried Green Tomatoes 1 year prior, I Will Always Love You replaced it. I'd say that worked out because it's definitely a part of cinematic history at this point. The inclusion of it, especially during the final moments of this movie, are absolutely unforgettable. But this is not a review. It's a C-View. A controversial view. The first controversy I'll mention is the fact that a crew driver died on set. During preparation for a scene, he was sadly crushed between two colliding lifts. Another controversy is the fact that The Bodyguard was pitched 67 times before finally being greenlit. The film played homage to its 67 rejections by having the climax occur at the 67th Annual Academy Awards. The movie had to undergo quick re-edits because test audiences panned Whitney Houston's performance. It's worth noting, however, this was her first role. And that brings me to the major controversy regarding The Bodyguard. The film was first proposed in the mid-70s, starring Steve McQueen and Diana Ross. Unfortunately, it was rejected for literally being too controversial. That was due to the interracial relationship between the two leads. The concept was then attempted again in the late 70s, this time starring Ryan O'Neal and Diana Ross. This time, the project fell through after only a few months. In real life, Ryan O'Neal and Diana Ross had been dating, but they broke up citing irreconcilable differences. This brought production to a halt, and the movie did not come to fruition until the early 90s. At that point, Kevin Costner had gotten hold of the project as producer and star. He plays leading man Frank Farmer, or The Bodyguard. Although many A-list actresses auditioned for the female lead, and despite the heavy controversy the movie received in the past, it was Costner who pushed for Whitney Houston to get the role. And still, nearly 2 decades after the first attempt to make The Bodyguard, the casting was considered controversial. But all these years later, just like the song replacement, I'd say they got it right. Whitney Houston was the right choice. Kevin Costner was correct. Their chemistry, in my opinion, is amazing. Watching Kevin Costner kick a lot of ass is awesome. And watching him get some ass from Whitney Houston is cool too. By the way, fun fact, Costner cut his hair for the role to look like Steve McQueen's, since McQueen originally had the role. The last thing I want to say about The Bodyguard is this. If you haven't seen the movie and think it's just a romance, it's not. The film is suspenseful, exciting, action-packed. At times, it's even downright creepy. When I first saw The Bodyguard back in 1992 when it was released, the ending stuck with me, and I honestly think about it often. Even in a period of about 2 decades or more since I had last seen the film, I consistently thought about the ending from time to time. The Bodyguard is a really good movie, and if you haven't seen it, you should. I do believe most people probably have. This was a big deal. But if not, that's fine. Jason and I watched it, so you don't have to. This is just my controversial view. Please be sure to check out Jason's as well. What are your thoughts on The Bodyguard? Comment below and let me know. Which controversial movie or TV show will we view next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.